Good evening, good day, good morning, good night. Welcome to Positive Rate. I'm your host, Willie Canuck, and we've got three members of the team with us today. Welcome back, big welcome back to Nick. Nick, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Rested now. I was down in London earlier, and
lovely part of the world.
Yeah, sure. It's always nice to come home to Scotland. I'll say that much. And also with us is Shark Kitty. Shark Kitty, how are you?
Hello, doing good. What about you?
I'm all right. And after a bit of an absence, I'm very, very delighted to welcome back Dark Fury. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you. I'm glad to be back in some sense. How are you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all better that you're with us today. I think it's going to be a great flight. I can see J-Hog in the chat there, so big shout out to him. And Stu. Stu's on the tarmac. He's flying with us today. Both you and Nick are in the Phoenix today, aren't you? So I am seeing liveries, but probably not the liveries you're in. I presume you're probably flying Positive Rate liveries, but hopefully one day I'll have the Phoenix and then I'll be able to see it in all its splendor. Having said that, I see like the liveries I do see are pretty cool. Looks like that'll be Lebanese or something, is it? Middle East Airlines, yeah. And you're Air Serbia, Dark Fury.
I Canada gone Serbian now.
We got Shark Kitty in the F-35. Is going to be going through her paces behind me, and I'm of course in the fly-by-wire 320 in the Positive Rate Special Red livery, and we've got Stu, who also could be in a Positive Rate livery. I can't see it because I don't have the PMDG, unfortunately, but at least Stu is showing up as a 737, which is great because that's the first time that I've been able to see 737. And of course we got I don't know if it's someone watching the stream. We got Nighthawks just popped in here. Could just be looks like an Airbus 330.
Oh, Nighthawk. I know that guy.
Nighthawk, yeah.
Welcome.
Airbus 330. I don't know if he's watching the stream, but if you are Nighthawk, do sound off. Let us know that you're with us and you're chatting and watching. Yeah, so it's pretty good. I'm delighted to see everybody along, and thank you for coming today, folks. So I'll just do a preview of the route here, and I'll bring open. Let me just get up Navigraph here. So if we go to there we go. No, that's the wrong one. There we go. So we're taking off from Halifax, and we. Turn that music down. I can hear myself think. I love the guitar licks, but they are a bit loud. Yeah, so we're taking off from Halifax, and there's no SID to speak of, so I've kind of created one, which I'll show you in a sec. We're going to fly straight out through a couple waypoints up to Orbx, and this is where the approach begins. As we come in, we're going to be landing. I've got runway, I think it was 6 left for Montreal, so I'm coming down to the south, and then we kind of hook back and go in for a nice ILS landing into Montreal. That's pretty much it. It's very standard flight, very common flight in Canada. You'll see Air Canada fly this quite often. Don't know if WestJet flies it. I don't believe so, but it could be possible because WestJet does fly out of Halifax quite a lot. Anyway, so I'll put that away. Let's go back in the plane and see what the plane thinks about it. So yeah, here's the SID I was talking about. I know I described it to some guys. So we're just going to take off from a runway, I think it was runway 14, if I remember correctly. We're just going to do kind of a nice kind of turn. So head out, runway heading 10 miles. Do perpendicular turn to the right and then a right again and then en route. And hopefully it should all work as planned and it's all going to be great and we're all happy and yeah, something like that. Anyway,
We'll see.
I think I'm all boarded now. Is everyone all boarded, ready to go, ready to push? Anybody we're waiting on?
Go for it, because I've just had to restart, so...
Okay. Well, I think there's
yeah.
a slight backtrack on this runway anyway, so by the time everyone gets off, Nick, you probably have enough time.
Yep. I'm running through.
Okay, no, I don't want the no, I don't want the baggage truck. Go away. Go away. No, I don't. I really don't. Okay. Okay, so I will start the APU then. Oh, I got sim noises. That'll be helpful. I was forgetting something here. There we go. Okay, seatbelts on. Beacon on. Start the APU.
Flight attendants, arm doors, and cross check.
Missed one. There we go. There we go. There we go. We'll just wait for that APU to spool up to full power. I just got the most recent development version, but I am noticing subtle improvements every time I fly this airplane. It's really such a joy to fly. And it can be yours for free. I'm going to close that door. I don't have to listen to that announcement. There we go. Drown her out. I'll let her let the flight attendant deal with the passengers. That's fine. Right, almost there. Almost there. Everything's coming into the green. We should hear a little click, and that means we can disconnect the external power and send that ground power unit on its way. Off you go, mate. There he goes, off he goes. So I will be taking off from runway, what is it? 14. So if everyone wants to start queuing up for that, there's like backtrack. You can see Stu's getting ready to go there.
Which runway again?
14.
14, okay.
Yeah. Just waiting for Stu to clear the way here. So I will clear that jet bridge. And let's call it our pushback truck. So while we're kind of getting pushed back, let's do the rounds. Dark Fury, any interesting developments for you? Any fun things you've been doing in the sim or otherwise?
Well, about the Antonov 225, that's a one to fly. It's like a Concorde.
Yeah, I haven't got that one yet, but how are you finding it?
Interesting, to say, because the cockpit's all in Russian.
You need like a Russian to English dictionary just to figure out what to do, yeah. I purchased the I will get the Antonov because I think it's a great cause, but I purchased the Caribou, and I've kind of been flying that around, and it's nice, something a little bit different. Very old airplane, but by God, the short takeoff and landing performance of it is remarkable. And I was doing some reading up on it. It's true to life, but it's really cool. It's got a working ramp as well that comes down and up again. It's really interesting. What about you, Shark Kitty? Anything fun that you've been doing lately?
Well, I think I may have mentioned it that I was waiting for it, but the X-Plane 12 port to Surrender Design Caravan has been released, so I'm pretty excited about that. We also have the release of X-Plane 12 version of the BO-105.
Yeah.
That's nice too. There's been the Bell 412 getting released as well. And on MSFS side, there's been more news on the upcoming Alouette 3, and it's looking really fantastic.
Yeah. Very cool. I've been watching a video on the Antonov 225, the real one, an actual video, and the development history of that airplane is really cool. What about you? Who have we not spoken to? Nick, have we covered you yet? Anything interesting you're doing in the sim these days?
I'm with Dark. So I was on the Antonov. I've done a couple of flights in it. Love it.
Did you go very far?
Complicated. I flew. Where did I? I flew from Heathrow, and I just went east, just to get my bearings and everything. And then Dark and I were. He had a slight problem. We did I ended up completing a Manchester to Heathrow flight with it, just to see how it goes. But yeah, no, I like it. It's different.
I mean, and you can't argue with the price, can you?
If you, I've seen so many streams of it and comments on Discord and all over the place. You know, even if you don't fly, it's a worthy cause. It's $20, which is about £16.
Exactly. It's not going to break the bank, is it? Really?
It's not going to break the bank, and it's going to a good cause. So even if you don't fly it, you know, at least you'll be. And the thing is, if you buy it and you put it into the sim, then if others are flying it, you're going to see it as well. So
exactly. Yeah. And like you say,
how detailed is it really? That's the thing I wonder. I haven't had much time to dig into it.
I would say very detailed.
Very detailed, comparable to the A310.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
I mean, it's recommended that you use the inbuilt checklist, of which I think, Dark, correct me if I'm wrong, is it 67 steps to get just the electrics and everything sorted out?
Oh, okay. That's my kind of plane.
It's 25 steps just to get the batteries, APU, and hydraulics set up.
Yeah. It's but it's in Russian. It's in Russian.
It's in Russian.
Well.
Just add insult to injury.
Yeah.
That's cool. Any chance you guys could teach me a bit? No?
I will post a link in the Discord of a very useful YouTube video I found that does actually go through it.
Okay,
step
cool.
by step, so I shall do that for you.
Thank you. I think I'll give it a shot this weekend, maybe.
Yeah, it's an amazing aircraft, and there's now a GSX profile as well for it, so which they've built in, so that makes that work with it as well. So you get all your refueling and your pushback and everything as well. So that's all good. So, but that's it with it. That's what's taken my week up.
That's a great reason. I mean, it really kind of came out of nowhere. I thought. I've been very blown away by the fact that they have brought it out, the fact that the price has been so great, the fact that it's all going to a worthy cause, and we just yet again we got another fantastic quality aircraft in the sim. So it's good day all around, I think. Just putting in my figures here. I forgot to put all my weights in.
The guys at ADD-ONs are brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. You know, and it's V1 VR and V2 disagree. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, where's that?
I wish any builds would do an A321.
Yeah, somehow got reversed. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know, have Inabuilds actually done any Airbus aircraft before, apart from the A310.
They've done it in, was it X-Plane or P3D? I can't remember. I don't know which one it was, because they did the Beluga, didn't they?
I don't know. I've definitely heard about them doing X-Plane stuff, but I never tried any build before.
Pretty sure they did they did the Beluga, but I don't know what sim it was in. And I think they've done a couple of other things as well.
They did the A300, the A300, A310, A3600, I think it was, the Beluga, all for P3D and X-Plane.
There we go.
Okay.
Who's rolling in front of me? I can't tell.
Oh, should we
I think that might be you, Nick. Is that you in front of me, Nick? I think it might be.
No, I haven't even started yet.
That's me.
Oh, no, that's you.
Off.
Yeah, I'm right behind you.
I'm waiting for the A350. I've been doing Nick and BA living for it.
Innie are doing that, I tell you. Innie builds are going to do that.
Well, the A330, 300.
No, the A350.
Yeah, I meant the A330. I'm doing a Finny for you.
I don't want an A350. Yeah.
Nick. Dark, are you going to roll, or are you waiting?
Yes, I can't do anything while GSX is like not
Oh,
letting me go anywhere.
GSX. You guys and your bloody GSX, I tell you.
Well, if you tell your native crew to get moving, I'll be able to go.
Nicely played. Alright, I'm just
Right,
doing
my
some...
GSX is ready.
And we're rolling.
Now who's behind me then? See, I can't push back. What's going on here?
That's dark. And I'm rolling behind him, so don't go yet.
There we go, Beluga says it as well. You can't be go dissing GSX.
Fair enough. Oh, big hi to Beluga as well. I hadn't seen you come in and try to do too many things at once. Hold a conversation, get the airplane going. Okay, we got flaps one set. Things ready here.
Oh, there's movement.
Unless their men can't multitask, how dare they?
Beluga says he's still at Halifax.
What is the time? No, that's not too bad. 20 minutes.
Flight level 380 Beluga.
Ish.
Hey, Shark, you ready to get airborne?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you guys on the runway.
No, we're not stacking up. We're doing it by the book. So if you want to get going,
Okay.
so we got to backtrack.
Top Gun music starts playing as Shark Kitty takes off.
That's it. Cruise altitude for me, Beluga, is flight level 380. There goes an amazing F-35 into the air.
There we go.
Okay. And that should be, he should be clear to backtrack now, Dark.
Yep, I'm rolling.
Oh, I should have checked. I might not need to backtrack.
It's only a 2.5.
Yeah. Why are we using this runway? Wow.
Just what it was assigned.
It's
I
wider
didn't
than
actually.
it's longer.
I didn't look at the wind strength. I think if it'd probably been lower, we could have used the bigger runway.
Well, according to the meta, it was a direct crosswind on the 223.
Oh, okay.
So we would have been better off taking this
The other
runway
one?
anyway.
Yeah, I hadn't checked the weather, and that's my fault. Sorry. Anything else I'm missing here? Alert the cabin. Auto brake max. Hey, he came no blue. There's Shark with a high-speed pass. Very cool.
Flex, SRS, runway, nav. Toga.
Togering?
Yep.
What?
Toga Thursday.
Ah. Cool.
Oh, I see Beluga's popped in there. Beluga, you can go ahead and take off if you want. Right behind Dart. Seems like the clip spots seem to be a lot more fiddly than they have in the past. Right, it doesn't look like Bluega's going, so I'm just going to pretend he's not there for the moment. Come on. Right. Okay. Rolling. Oh, we got a new subscriber who's Bloomer Richard. Bloomer, how you doing? Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Welcome, mate. Don't forget to check out our Discord as well, and welcome to the community. Oh, come on. Steer. Okay, everything looking good. Flap set, ready, good to go. And percent. Go go. Rotate. Pause the rig, you're up. Dang. Oh, Nighthawk, there he is. We saw you, Nighthawk. Nighthawk has subscribed to the channel. Well, welcome. How you doing, Nighthawk? Great to have you with us. Then I'll pilot on and traffic. Initial climb out to 6,000. We'll bring that up to our flight level of 3,800 shortly. Climb thrust. And we definitely got a bit of cloud around here today. It's a snowy landscape in Canada. Of course, it is this time of year generally. That's flaps retracted. And up we go. We'll change that to 38,000 feet, get that going. Jeez, I can't click anything in here. I don't know what's going on today. There we go. 380 blue. And pushing for standard. Everything's so fussy today, I don't know what's going on. There we go. There, standard, off we go.
Is he doing some weird things?
Yeah, I'm getting weird things as well. Bluga says, SIN brief didn't give me a SID. No, I didn't get one either, Bluga. It's direct to... hang on a sec, I'll tell you right now. So I put one in myself. That's why I have something that looks like a SID. Just checking the flight plan. Kelno, direct to Kelno. So once you take off, go runway heading, and then make a turn, a left turn to Kelno. Look at that. I'll tell you what, guys, it looks cold. Very cold. Alright. So who we got in the air? We've got Stu in the air, we've got Beluga is in the air, Dark Fury's in the air, I can see Nighthawk. Looks like Nighthawk's in the air as well. In the Airbus 330. And I take it that's you just starting to roll now, Nick, is it?
Yep, I'm up.
Nighthawk says, "Hi everybody, I had to rush to join in." No, not at all. I'm glad that you came along, Nighthawk. We saw you. And so great that you're watching along with us and chatting as well. Right, I feel like I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? You know what? I know what I forgot. Okay, put up my chrono again. Always should really need to do a printed checklist to have in front of me, or have something tattooed to my forehead. I haven't decided what's better.
Hello, Dark.
Where's that come from?
Is he done?
It's coming from your left wing.
Oh, is he?
Sharky's just going to take turns setting off everyone's TCAS.
I mean, I can.
Well, luckily in the Phoenix he doesn't. Can
It doesn't set off at all in the Phoenix. Why not?
Because she's not actually showing.
Oh, right, okay. Well, it is a stealth aircraft in theory. I wonder how much of a difference that would make with the TCAS, actually.
But my transponder is on. It's not about Charlie, though.
Yeah, true. We're definitely cutting into some heavy clouds now. Okay, I think that's stable enough. We can probably release the... Oh, get some lights off here. And passengers can get up. Off we go. Look at this cloud. Absolutely awesome. Looks dark and mysterious out there at the moment. Definitely need any ice there. A very good point. Perhaps I haven't got a warning about that actually. Oh, not a warning. Off we go. How many tons of fuel did you take, Nick?
6.7.
I took 7.5, so yeah, around about that. Blue says, "Sharky, that was amazing." You're wowing everybody, right?
Oh, a bit closer.
I'm just in
With
peace soup right now.
the
I can't
cloud,
see
it's
anything.
hard to really see where your plane is. Just have the name tag.
Yeah, I'm still in the soup right now, so I'll wait till I get a bit higher.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about, or while we're flying, I should say, has there been anything new in the news about up and coming? I've been kind of out of the loop. I've been so busy traveling it myself, and for real life, haven't really seen anything. I don't know if anybody's seen anything interesting in the wires.
Let me think.
It's got a bit quiet, isn't it?
Quite possibly. I was usually I see something pop up on YouTube, but I'm just nothing really apart from the Caribou.
There's another scam released today, 767.
A scam.
Yeah,
Okay. As much
£30.
as I think that for now, you're allowed to say it that way. I'd say it may be considered misleading.
It is. Well, okay, it's 99% misleading because when you look at it from the outside, it's a 767.
Yeah.
And when you look at the inside, it's a 747 again.
Oh, one of these.
It's one of these. So not Captain Scam this time, but a different developer has brought something out.
So
and apparently someone was testing it today that I know of that flew at Mach 9.7 at 60,000 feet.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
Traffic.
And they expect people to pay this money. Well, people do pay this money by thinking they're getting a decent product, and they're not.
Yeah, it is. I just seems to be a very bad trend forming these days.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not the majority of studios.
No.
But yeah, it is unfortunate for the reasons I mentioned before. You just don't want someone to spend the money. They might really like the 767 and not understand enough about the players in the industry to realize that they're being scammed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. The worst thing about that one is it is actually the Captain Sims 767, but it's just textured with a lower detail.
Shark kitty. Right.
What? What did I do?
You're forcing my airplane to take evasive maneuvers.
Why are you? Why are you in the array with me in the sky? That's the worst idea.
Sorry, Dark Peter. Please continue. Yes, run away with the tail between your legs, you F-35.
Yeah, it's literally Captain Sims 767, but just more detail.
All right, okay. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's a bad trend. I'm just before I forget, Beluga said I've been doing tons of Jet 2 flights recently. 45 hours. Whoa. So what tell us, Beluga, what airports you've been flying to? What have been your favorites so far? It's halted my there we go.
A heck of a crosswave.
Speaking of crosswinds, headwinds, A330-900 has been coming along quite nicely with a new model.
Who has, sorry?
Headwind, they're doing the A330-900.
Oh, right. Is that looking good, is it?
The new model that they've been posting on their Discord looks amazing.
Evening, Dan.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's encouraging.
Of conflict.
Blue Sims 757 was announced exactly a year ago. So that's another one.
Dan's just said, I just joined and immediately greeted with TCAS RAs. Yeah.
I did recognise him without his beard.
And he says, hello, Captain Relish. I presume he's talking about J-Hog, is he?
Yeah.
These clouds are pretty high up.
Yeah, so what we need is a proper Boeing aircraft. Like, hopefully PMDG are going to sort out the 777, 777
Yeah.
in the next couple of months. So, because they've been working on it for a while, so fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, Mentor. Speaking of the 777 and 737, Mentor pilot Petter. Is it Petter? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Him and some of his colleagues and close friends have been doing some seminars free this week for the 737, and they're on about doing the 777 when it comes out.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool. I swear I've flown a 777 before, but in a previous sim. But I would definitely need a reminder, a refresher.
Oh, we're cloud surfing now.
It's Captain Sim, Nick.
No, it wasn't.
Seems to be breaking up about 29,000.
Excellent.
That's a lot of clouds.
It's Canada for you, isn't it? Clouds, snow, and trees.
Oh, Charcuterie, doing some formation flying. I always know I've been a naughty boy because I always got some sort of fighter jet on my heel. Beluga says, I've just been going to holiday destinations from the UK. Oh, okay, right. Malaga is a nice airport. Yeah, we never really... have we done Malaga on stream? I can't think we did. I don't think we have. And Alicante, very nice. And Nightstream says, your stream is beating a massive winter storm in Ontario and Quebec by 1 day. Oh, right, good. So that was unintentional, Nighthawk. But guys, yeah, so if we'd been doing this tomorrow in live weather, it would have been a massive snowstorm. I think we got a bit lucky there then.
Oh, I know another thing I got. Gibraltar. To RD presets.
Oh, the new
Gibraltar came
airport.
out. Yes.
Is it good?
So, you know me, really. I buy it and I sit on the tarmac and I look around and go, yeah, this is really nice. And then I don't actually fly into it. I'm planning to it there. But yeah, it does look good. The only the thing that catches people out, is that they've got the traffic going across the runway.
Yes,
in real life.
I think I came across that when I streamed. It must be the same one that. Is that the one that Orbx has?
You got the SAM design one, I think.
Oh right,
and
okay.
RD's one out as well, but you have to preset your aircraft before you do the flight. And they've got a special config application. So if you're going to fly the Phoenix or you're going to fly the fly-by-wire, because it needs to know what your strobe is going to be. Because when your strobe is on, the traffic won't be there. When your strobe is off, the traffic will be there.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. But you have to do it. You have to set it before you start the sim.
Right, got you. Well, that's involved, but I can see the impact, and it sounds pretty immersive.
I mean, for you, I'd say you'd probably have your set for fly-by-wire. I've set mine for Phoenix because I'm thinking, well, that's probably the aircraft I'm going to fly in there the most.
Exactly. So you basically just do it once, and then that's
do it once.
Yeah.
And you know, if I do take the 7.3 in there, for instance, then if I don't remember, and I just drive through a few cars. But I mean, it's no biggie.
Speaking of Gibraltar, Nick, the day before when Sim Update 12 released, I picked up the new Christchurch.
Oh yeah, you know, I need to get that. Not that I'm going to fly there, just you know, it's got to be done. It's second biggest airport, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
in New Zealand.
I'd put it somewhere in between Brussels, or near probably the second best airport to Brussels by himself.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, right. Okay, I'll add that to my list. Oh, and Willie, I'm going to take over to. I need to give a shout out to Jimmy.
You go right ahead, Nate.
No one knows who Jimmy is, except I work with him, and apparently he's been lurking on the streams and he watches.
Oh right, brilliant.
And he gives me reports on how things are, and I was like, and at first I was like, is he actually doing it? And then this week he was like, what happened to your sound this week? What happened last week with your sound?
Oh right, excellent.
So I thought, right, yeah, okay, you definitely watch it.
Well, big shout out to Jimmy.
So probably Jimmy is watching at the moment.
Well, Jimmy, hopefully he can time it in the chat and say hello. But great to have you along, Jimmy. I really, really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And of course, you know, it's guys like Nick that make this stream attractive. If it was just me on my own, nobody would watch it. This is why I bring backup along. So, but
if it was just Willie, then there would be no one to trigger his traffic advisories.
my traffic advisories, my temper, my confusion, my waffles, yeah, all that.
I think we really need someone to do like one of those memes where it's a triggered, but that's a TRA triggered, and then you get a go by aircraft. That would be hilarious. Actually, if someone does that, I'd put it as a profile picture.
I'll toast to that. Take a sip of my coffee here, Tim Hortons. There you go. Actually, that's a good question, Nick. Is there any Tim Hortons near you?
A what?
Tim Hortons
No.
coffee. All right. Okay.
I think so.
I think they're working their way down.
Oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't.
It's a good thing for me. Actually, there might be one near. Dark, you may have seen one around here. I'm not sure. Are you closer to Teesside? Are you?
Tim Hortons, did you say?
How dare you?
Tim Hortons, yeah. They are.
That's weird. It came right to the top of my Google.
I last look. I think they're up to 80 locations in the UK now.
Oh, hang
They're-
on.
and
No,
they're
that's in,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got one at other side of Sheffield, Crystal Peaks. It's about 8 miles away from me.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Well,
So
there's
get your family
Alright.
a box of Timbits, Dark Fury. A box of Timbits. You can get a box of 20 or a box of 40. Or like donut holes, I think you guys call them. Eh? But the kids will love them. Jayhawk says, we've got one on the other side of town, yeah. So why bring all this up? But I think I mentioned it before, because Tim Hortons was... the first ever Tim Hortons was opened up in my hometown. So it is by heritage a Hamilton, Ontario startup business.
There's 2 in London.
Is there 2 in London? Whereabouts?
Well, I say London, Thurrock, and Wembley.
Oh, Wembley. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, there's definitely nothing downtown that I've seen. Jayhawk says he's an ice hockey player. Yes, he was. He was an ice hockey player for... he played for the Maple Leafs, the Buffalo Sabres, and one other team. But as he got older and he had to retire, he wanted to come up with a retirement, like a business that he could take all his winnings and invest into. So he invested in Tim Hortons, and that's where it started. And if you go into a Tim Hortons, somewhere in each restaurant, you should find a painting of Tim Horton playing hockey. I think even the UK ones do have it. You have to kind of look for them.
Oh, wait, can we give a quick shout out to Tim Horton as well for giving you coffee?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're on our favorite list. Unlike what was our ban list? I can't remember. Was it Burger King?
Burger King.
Burger King, airport Burger Kings. Yeah. Bluga says you can't beat the Tesco 3 meal deal. Oh, come on. Yes, you can very easily. You might have to pay a bit more money. And Nighthawk says you've been to the original Tim Hortons in Hamilton. All right, Nighthawk. Yeah, it's on Barton and Ottawa Street, I think. They've completely rebuilt it though. The original building was torn down and it's been replaced with this massive 2-floor thing with a museum in it, which is kind of weird. But there you go. Oh, Stu's had a crash of desktop. No, Stu, no. What a pain. I touch wood. I haven't had much in the way of crash desktops lately. The last update seems to have done okay by me. Bluga says I had an airport Burger King in Gran Canaria. Not the best. Yeah, I know. Definitely. I'm just hoping there are a few in Scotland. I'm just hoping they finally build one out in my area, because there was a new coffee shop opening up in Galashiels, which is not far away from me. We got excited, and they said it was going to be a drive-through, and I thought that has got to be a Tim Hortons. You'll never believe what it was. It was a drive-through Starbucks. I've never even heard of that.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's a thing now? Okay.
I was so disappointed. I mean, I literally spat out the car window as I drove past it once I realized what it was.
Costa? That would have been right.
But we don't really have a Tim Hortons here, so I don't know. We do have Starbucks though, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they have any ambitions of going to the rest of Europe as yet. I think UK was kind of their initial push out.
Yeah.
But they've had locations in random places. Like there's been, for a period of time, there's one located at Kandahar Airport. But if you go on their website, just look, you'll get most of them in Canada. There's a few in the northeast of the United States, quite a few in the UK, and then there's just some random international locations that you'd think, why did they go there? It's just a really odd thing. I think the problem, I don't know if they would survive in France though, because I think the problem with France, Charcuterie, is you guys have too much competition for fantastic desserts and pastries, and I don't know if Tim Hortons would survive. I don't think it would be up to your standard.
I mean, what is it really? Is it just a coffee shop or something?
Yeah, so it's coffee, primarily coffee and donuts. Donuts was their main business, but they do they've evolved a bit. So they do all sorts of different coffees. They do sandwiches. I mean, it's a as it is in Canada. It's just considered a relatively inexpensive place to go have lunch or just grab coffee.
Okay.
But their donuts, in particular, I find that their donuts are the best, are among the best in the world. I don't like Krispy Kremes. I think that those things are just loaded with sugar. Whereas Tim Hortons for me tastes like a more natural type proper donut. It is sweet, but it's not like ridiculously sweet. And they have all sorts of different kinds of donuts, of course. And Timbits. So Timbits, they take all the donut holes. They're about maybe that size, and you get a box of 20 of those or 40, and you get them assorted or all one flavor, whatever you want. And it's a common sight in. What's that?
All this talk of food.
Are you getting hungry?
I wonder what they did to the middle of donuts.
Yeah, they recycle them into something else.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Lakeside, here I come.
Still she's Charcuterie there. So we are. Ooh. Still a ways off from our initial top of descent, so I've got a radio ring around that. Might as well talk through. So when we get to our route, actually, I might as well put in the performance information while we're here. That's it. Temperature is 0 degrees, 2965. You know what to do? What I'll do is I'll get a printout of the weather. I have it right beside me.
I miss that feature in the Phoenix. I love
Yeah,
the
it
printer.
is. It's very handy. Okay, here we go. And cast right. Performance phase is QNH is 2965. Oh, and 0 degrees. Now our winds are 320 at 8 knots. Now I feel that may call for a runway change actually. That is considerably different than what it was before. And it's snowing. It's snowing in Montreal, guys.
Oh
Excellent.
no.
Excellent. I love And it's going to snow in the UK next week as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I heard that. Another beast from the east, as they're calling it.
Yep.
Right. I'm gonna need to pull up some charts here. So let's have a look. So originally we were coming in on 6. Actually, no, it's probably still the same. I think we can maintain 6 left, 320. So we'll be a crosswind, but
They're using 2-4 right for landing in real life at the minute.
are they?
Yeah, there was using 0-6 right 10 minutes ago.
There's not much between them though. B plus 40, 100 degrees there, 2-4.
It's a crosswind either way, isn't it?
And 320 minus 20, 40. It's you're talking about maybe 100 degrees versus 80 degrees. It's 100 degrees on the current runway. Just means gotta completely redo the plan. Well, we got time. We do have time. What do you think, Dart? You make the call.
You know what? Let's just keep it 0-6.
06?
Oh.
Okay. And so we shall.
Yeah, this is called Trudeau International. Is that after
Pierre
the
Trudeau.
country?
No, his father.
Oh, his father.
Yeah, it was named after Pierre Trudeau, who served as prime minister in the 70s and early 80s.
Oh, so I didn't. That's
Yeah, his son followed in his footsteps, and quite shortly will be following his dad's footsteps on the way out. So
right.
he's not. It's but it's the same with anything in politics. I thought Trudeau was probably a great prime minister in the initial days, but I think he's just worn out his welcome now. And even I have to admit that I can understand like Canadians just don't like him. He's very pretentious, but I think he has been good for Canada to an extent. However, I think he really needs to think about stepping down and getting someone else to find or to lead the party, because if they don't do that soon, I do believe that the Tories will probably get back into power in Canada this year, or whenever the next election is. This is Canadian Tories, of course. I'm not saying that Boris Johnson's decided to defect to Canada and cause a bunch of mayhem over there as well. Right, I'm just gonna quick check on the NavRad. Yeah, okay, so the ILS is published there. That's fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a quick toilet break. I'd invite you guys along and take a look at the amazing toilet on this airplane, but there's probably some things you don't want to see there, so I'll be back in a minute. But hopefully, Dart, Shark Kitty, and Nick, if you could just entertain our guests, our viewers.
Hello.
Nighthawk, good point. Nighthawk, good point. The Tim Hortons muffins are great. They are really good. Yeah, I agree. I forgot about the muffins. Chocolate chip muffins, Tim Horton, with when they warm it up and they put butter on, and the butter just melts into the. Oh, awesome. Anyway, I'm getting hungry now. I'm gonna have to find something to eat. Anyways, I'll be right back.
It's time for the Willie Canucks Lou review.
I heard that. Be right back, guys.
Do they have waffle at Tim Hortons?
There's a lot of waffle going on there. Oh, there. No idea. These Canadian coffee shops coming over here.
To do a breakfast meal.
Right, I don't know if this up. Excellent. Yeah, I'm done. I'm ready.
They do vegan wraps, like Greg's.
It's much of a sameness though, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't matter whether you go into a Costa, a Starbucks, a Tim Hortons or whatever. I reckon they all sell pretty much the same things. The only difference is the coffee, and I just cannot stand Starbucks coffee. I just find it too weak. It's got a weird taste to it. Costa I love, but maybe it's just me. I don't know.
I don't like Starbucks coffee, to be fair. It's too expensive, and it's like it tastes to me like McDonald's instant coffee.
Well, I just take like sugary things like mocha or whatnot when I go to Starbucks. It is expensive, yeah, but I don't go very often, so it's okay.
And during COVID, you'd go in there and you'd be the only one in there, and they still ask what your name was to put on the cup. Like, I'm the only one here. I don't know. Anyway. So what flights have you done into? Was it Christchurch? Did you say, Dark?
Yeah, I've done a couple into Christchurch. Very nice. Part of it, it's, I wouldn't say it's FPS heavy, but you can notice a slight drop in FPS.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. J-Hog's on it. Us poor Northerners can't afford Starbucks.
What are you going to do when you come up here, Nick? There's no, you can't keep on
The airport coffee. The airport coffee was lovely. That was fine. What does J-Hog have? The Henderson stuff. Does he mix it with water and add a bit of milk? I don't know. He goes on about it enough. The relish.
Relish flavoured tea.
Yeah. Like we do down south. We have bovril, don't we? Bovril,
Came back.
A bit of water.
Oh, bovril.
Bofril's like that. They serve that at football matches or something. Don't warm Bovril.
Yeah, I was talking about the Henderson's relish. J-Hog goes on about it. He said he couldn't afford Starbucks, so I said, did he have Henderson's relish and just mix it with a bit of water?
Oh my god. No.
I suppose that's more of a when you have cold in your sore throat.
And J-Hog says, I can hear you, Mr. Burrows.
I think I've upset him. Didn't mean it.
How are we doing here then?
I'm just looking forward to that big Philly steak burger from Airport Pub.
Oh, that sounds delicious. I would absolutely go for that.
And maybe a chip on Concord again.
I mean, I used to get the proper Philly steak sandwiches back home, but that is something I miss. It's really hard to find anything like that around here.
I can't remember what I had last time.
Well, it was just mince and tatties for us tonight, but it was good. J-Hog says, stick to your jelly deals.
Here we go. Yeah,
And he doesn't get upset, he gets even. Yeah.
Yeah. I know he was going to try and palm me off with this Henderson's relish when I was up there, but obviously I can't bring it back on the plane.
Oh, right,
So
okay.
That one's out the window.
I'll send you some by Amazon.
No.
Stu's coming back in an F-14. Quite suitable. Yeah, it is seriously overcast. I can definitely tell a storm's coming. So I'm showing 120 miles, 120 miles to top of the sun.
You can definitely tell when there's loads of clouds or there's a thick cloud base how actually warm the colours are out on the sim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I am looking forward to the spring and the summer, though. Obviously, when you do live weather, you can't control that. It is what it is.
What's coming down your way Sunday? Nick, how many bottles do you want? Oh, God. Oh, God.
I can't wait to see. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, I should have tried it, shouldn't I, when I was up north? Yeah, I don't think I tried it, did I?
No.
No.
Well, Stu's going Mach 2. I think I might be getting a high-speed flyby at some point. Unfortunately, I don't have the F-14, so it's not going to look like one. You know how DC Designs was going to put out this pack?
Yeah.
Free to download, which it was just going to have none of it flyable, but it would at least have all the models. So if anybody else was flying the DC Designs airplanes, you'd see them for what they were. Has anybody heard any more about that?
No, you just know you can download an F-15 like that, but aside from that, I got no idea.
So I thought that was a great idea. I wish all studios would do that. Because it can be, I mean, I know very little about creating airplanes for Flight Simulator, but I would think that if you have the external model, it must not be that hard to do. Just to release a complete stripped external model, basically. No, cockpit or anything like that. It's just there. I would think that would be a fairly easy thing to manage. I suppose
we know one developer that's done that, don't we? With the Hercules. Remember the Hercules?
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
All right.
But all joke aside, the thing is there's gonna be two issues with it. I mean, whether you agree with them or not, I'm not saying that it's fair. It's just it's how it is.
Yeah.
The first issue I see that you shouldn't put the same model as the one you're studying. For model matching, it should be a lower resolution and lower definition.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't want someone to
reasons.
steal your work.
No, that's not what I meant. Just for performance reason, you should not put the same level of quality on a model matching aircraft as on
Fair enough. Yeah.
the actual aircraft you're flying.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And the second reason, well, that's kind of what you were saying. I think a lot of developers not really gonna want to just give away a 3D model that could be striped down.
Yeah. That was the other thing.
Especially since it's part of what you purchase.
Yeah.
So you don't consider that something valuable, and
yeah, no, that is a valid point.
That's sad, but that's the way things are. I already had these kind of issues because I work in open source, so
yeah.
Most of the stuff I do is just available. Not everything, because I got some stuff that I just do for just specifically for the needs of my employers, but a lot of the things that I do, they're just open source, so...
Oh, that's what, look at an erroneous... glad I started checking the flight plan. I've got, just to go through this, so I've got a discontinuity, but I'm going to leave it in.
Well,
So-
depending on what it is, it can be normal.
Yeah, it is, because so basically as you're coming up, there's a manual cue there where it's just going to fly runway path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that in, and then I'll go direct to I think it's Exalta, which is the entry point for the ILS approach into runway 6 left. So I don't need to join that up.
Yeah, cause that's the thing a lot of beginners don't really understand about IFR, is that there are times at which you just have a discontinuity period, like you go to the end of a star and then it's it's gonna be vector to final. So it's just nothing to put in the GPS.
Nighthawk says
Normally you just get vectored by ADC in that scenario.
That's right. Yeah. Nighthawk saying DCS has visual models for all payware aircraft, so DCS does, right? So everyone can see them properly in the multiplayer. Yeah, I could see actually for DCS that's got to be a must, because obviously if you're going up against other kind of adversarial aircraft, you want them to look like what they're meant to look like. But yeah, but that's interesting. So if DCS does that, and obviously there's more incentive for them to do that, but how big a deal is it for Microsoft Flight Simulator developers and X-Plane developers to do that? Mind you, I don't know how X-Plane works in terms of external models. Shark Kitty, do you have the same problem? Like if you don't have that airplane type, you just won't see it in X-Plane?
Well, it's kind of a different question in X-Plane, because typically if you want to do multiplayer, you're gonna use something like FSim or what it's called, there's Pilot Edge, and what's the last one? IFS?
Yeah.
I forgot. Anyway, so the thing is, the model matching rather gonna depend on how those work, I think. And typically what you're gonna do is just having a model matching file that's gonna have a lot of models into it, and not gonna be necessarily very high quality. If you take something free, like for instance, if you download Xpilot, which is a FSim client for X-Plane, on installation they're gonna propose you, hey, do you wanna install model matching files? And just like that, you can have in a few clicks your model matching file, and not very high quality, but as I said, it makes sense to have lower quality stuff for your model matching. You're not gonna fly near them anyway.
No, it doesn't have to be. Obviously things like landing gear. If you think about the incredible detail that goes into external models for aircraft that you actually fly, you don't need that for aircraft that you're just observing, because you're not gonna suddenly find yourself zooming in right to the airplane just to say, well, have they actually modeled this hydraulic line into the gear? It's like that doesn't exist. You just need to see.
But you just need to see that if you're flying an F-15 or whatever, that it doesn't suddenly show up on your sim as a pointy-nosed twin jet airliner.
Exactly.
Which is what it does at the moment, because it just destroys.
Which is why I'm so thankful for that free add-on from the fly-by-wire guys that injects the models, because so far it seems to be working okay. The only it's not a drawback, it's a scope limit, is that it just focuses on airliners, which is understandable. But wouldn't it be great if someone did something similar for everything else? So all of your general aviation aircraft, all of your military aircraft, that's what we're missing.
The problem is, like you say, you've got different types of model matching. So you've got the ones that are on the fly-by-wire installer. You've got the simple traffic by Aerosoft. AIG, yes, it's a pain in the backside to get done, but it carries a lot of GA and military stuff. A lot of reason that the FSTL doesn't have, because FSTL is more modern than historic.
And how do you find AIG in terms of performance?
It depends how much you put in. The more you put in, you will lose about 5 FPS, depending on your system.
Okay.
But it contains a hell of a lot of models and a lot of liveries, which is quite useful for model matching on FSim. But the problem is, no matter which model matching or models you have installed, multiplayer will only pick them up if you've loaded into them themselves. So say like somebody's flying a 737-800.
Yeah.
If they load into it and it matches up with the model that you've got installed through either your community folder or through the AIG FSLTL, it will show as long as it's the same. Now, if you're flying a different aircraft, or you're flying a different livery with a slight variation, or a custom livery with slight details missing in the actual livery folders, it won't match. So you'll get generics.
Right. So how
So
do you?
what-
So Stu obviously was flying the 737, and I did see a 737, and I don't have anything like that.
No, but that'll be contained in the FSTL model matching files, so it'll have the
Yes.
model and the livery. So
Yes.
if he's using the PMDG stock livery, it will show. But to say if Stu was flying the PMDG 737 Southwest Heart livery,
Yeah.
for example, or the striped livery, whatever, I can't remember what it's going to call it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't show because FSTL doesn't have that livery installed in the model.
But would it still show me a 737?
It'll show you a generic 737. It
Oh, that's
replies.
okay. I can live with that. That's a good compromise.
So-
But
so
it's not going to
the-
suddenly like throw the bathwater out and decide it's going to show me like a 787 or something like that.
No, generally not, but it all depends on what they're flying, what your model matching's got, and what's been used, what's not been used,
Yeah.
the liveries.
Yeah.
So like with that sim, you've got a file that you can specifically say, look, this is what their airline is, this is what they're flying, this is what I want to see. Boom, done. Multiplayer is like
Okay.
a different kettle of fish.
It is, yeah, and you wonder why actually.
This is why I've got FSTL in as my main one. But then if FSTL goes, oh look, there's a generic aircraft there. I don't want to see a Spitic E for a Learjet. I want to see a Learjet, so I'll use AIG as a secondary. So it'll go, oh well, FSTL goes, oh I can't find it. AIG's got it. AIG, it'll show AIG models.
Oh, burning more fuel than I need to. Yeah, got you.
So
Okay.
what you're saying is that it works fine on that sim, it's just the default multiplayer that has issue, right?
Yeah, because like for example, say the EasyJet A310 livery that I've done. If you've not loaded into the A310 EasyJet livery in your community forward and uploaded it in, you won't see me in that livery when I load into it because you've not loaded into it and it's not in model matching.
Yeah.
See.
So you
I know.
won't
I
even see
mean, there's
my-
the one thing I do know is if you have a, which I sometimes do. So if I'll download, let's say it was a freeware, something off FSimStudios. Some person did a. Actually, I should do this. I mean, even though I have no intention to fly it, but say they have there's an Airbus 330, right, that you can get from FSimStudios. If you download it and put it in your community folder, but you never actually load into it, then you'll never see it because it doesn't actually go through the compile process to build the model. Because I think a lot of people don't realize that you have to actually load it up as an aircraft, like in the aircraft once, so that it can compile the aircraft. And that's why, you know, anytime there's a fly-by-wire update, it's pretty much redoing that entire aircraft. So the next time you load that, when you've just had an update, it's going to take a while to do that initial load because it's got to recompile everything. Once you do the compile and you go back to the main menu and load somewhere else with the same airplane, it's lightning fast because it's already compiled it. But that also dictates whether you're going to be able to see that airplane in the multiplayer.
Well,
So
it doesn't really matter if you load into it or not. You could both be loaded in, but one could have a slightly newer version or a slightly different version to what
fair
you've
enough.
got.
True. Yeah.
If they are not the same, you won't see each other.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
that's a big issue. But now that you mention it, I think I recall once I did a group flight on that sim and I was on X-plane flying a GR400/180 and someone saw my plane and saw it was a GR400 but didn't realize that's what I was really flying. They thought that it was a mistake from the model matching. They were on MSFS. And at the end, when I showed them screenshots, and they saw that I was really in a GR400, it was like, oh, but I saw your plane actually during the flight. And I mean, it did recognize it, even though it's not the same plane. It's not even the same variant actually as the one on MSFS.
Right,
But yeah, on that sim it worked.
Shall we take a quick look for our top of the descent's coming up? So I'm sorry to interrupt, Sharky. I just want to quickly look at where we're going. So we are flying. That's the Ombre approach. That's fine. So as I was explained, we're coming in this way for runway 6 left. So that is, we're going to drop down at 3,000 feet. So cut in when you come back to Zalta. We want to be at 3,000, and then we will be more or less near the top entry point of the ILS coming into the runway. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to check. Decision height for that is 198 feet, so it's 100 feet elevation, which is actually quite low for Montreal. I'm surprised at that. Everything else around there is usually around 500-600 feet elevation. Then, when we get into the airport, so we're coming on 6 left. Now the terminal. So yeah, we're gonna blast right by the terminal. So I think what you do is cut down, take one of the exit lanes, and then come back on Bravo all the way to the end, cross runway 28, and I think we'll park around. Actually, how many airplanes? I don't know how wide that is, but maybe park around the west side of the airport, guys. Does that sound alright? And that should be us. I'm glad we had this shot. Top descent in 20 miles.
As long as we don't see no A340s, they're showing up as A380s.
Yeah. That's interesting. Has anybody announced a 340? That would be an interesting one to have.
Haven't heard of one for MSFS, but there's one on X-Plane.
Oh, of course. Is it Tolis that does that?
Yeah, it's still it. It's pretty huge step up from the A319 and A321.
It's amazing it's amazing what Tolis announced, that they're actually just ditching X-Plane altogether and they're going to focus purely on Microsoft Flight Simulator development.
Wait, say again?
I said Tolis.
You're kidding me, right?
Yeah.
You scared me for a sec.
I can tell by the tone of your voice. You're like, what? Oh, brilliant.
Jeez, look at that.
Sorry.
I mean, I'd be
Sorry,
really
Sugar.
sad because the A340 is really good.
I actually, I say that tongue in cheek, but also out of admiration, because I think Tolis does produce some amazing airlines for X-Plane.
Yeah, in fact about their A340 is that they put so much detail into it that they had to provide performance settings. Because
the lean version. Hey, you know what?
The thing is, every screen inside the cabin, they are modeled and they work.
Right. Oh, right. Okay, got you.
So I'll let you imagine what happens if you turn that on on the weak PC.
A company that used to have a terrible problem with performance issues, which a lot of I think there was things you could do to improve it, was PMDG. Back in the FSX days, a lot of people couldn't run PMDG because it just brought their computers to its knees. Because
the way it works by default is that if you're not inside the cabin, the door is closed and you're not in outside view, it's just gonna hide the cabin. So basically when you're just in cockpit view with the door closed,
okay, starting descent,
then the cabin disappears, so that you save some frame rate there. But you can also just disable it altogether if your PC really can't take the hit. And honestly, I just do it just to have a smoother experience. I could run it with the screens and all, but I'm just gonna pass all my time in the cockpit, so I don't really wanna waste the performance and the power for it.
Yeah.
Traffic.
But it's nice that it's there. It's nice that it's model. I've seen some study levels that don't even have a cabin.
You're talking about PMDG in FSX.
No,
I mean
about-
Willy War. He's saying
Okay.
about how PMDG in FSX. Well, I had the Aerosoft A321 and the PMG Queen of the Skies for FSX, and it did specifically say you needed specific requirements for that to be run. But yeah,
Yeah.
people were trying to run it on under-spec PCs and then complaining about it. And it's like, well, it specifically tells you on the website you cannot play this without minimum specs, and it's same for Microsoft Flight Sim, and I'm sure it's same for X-Plane.
Yeah.
They've got minimum specs for each scenery or minimum specs for each aircraft, and then people are coming along going, does my PC meet this recommended spec? And they give you a list of specs, and it's like, well, one, you don't meet the RAM. Two, you don't probably meet the GPU requirements. Or C, your CPU's like 3 generations behind.
Well,
What can I run it?
PMDG said something like, so they had a spec list before the first release. But there was an anecdotal statement they made, and I found that really interesting. But when you looked at the recommended specs, they were above mid-range, slightly above mid-range, I would say, and they were, I think at the time, I don't know if it was RAM or what it was, but at the time my machine was under spec. I think now I'm probably at the bottom end of it. It would probably run fine.
Traffic.
But then anecdotally, because everyone was panicking, PMDG said, or I think it was Ralph Rendezo, he said, but if you run the fly-by-wire 320 and that is a good experience for you, then you're probably going to be fine. So that really calmed everyone down, because that was your litmus test, right? So, and it's actually a good way to, and I think all studios should do this, is make sure that your airliner works as well as a fly-by-wire on the same spec system, because if it doesn't, you could be setting yourself up for lost business, because people are not necessarily going to, they will go out to upgrade their machine to make their whole flight simulator experience better, but I think it'll be a very small portion of people that will actually go out to upgrade their machine just for one add-on. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not as simple as that. It's not just, hey, I want to have this performance on that software that I'm developing. You just do whatever you can in terms of optimization, and then that's it. You get what you get.
Yeah, but if you
try to improve the performance, but
if your add-on runs like crap,
don't really choose that.
I get that, but if your add-on runs like garbage, it doesn't matter how much detail you put on, no one's going to get it, unless, apart from a very small niche that have like ridiculously overpowered rigs. Dark, you were going to make a point. Go ahead.
I see where you're coming from, but then you're wrong in the other sense, because,
Okay.
for example, you can have two different systems. You can have two similar systems running the same things, and you can have, say, the fly-by-wire running at 40 FPS on one machine and 28 on the other.
Yeah.
There's that many variables on settings, sim. I mean, most of these people, like when you buy the Phoenix, it tells you the bottom recommended specs.
Yeah.
But then you get people that are just hitting the minimum specs or just under the recommended, and they want 60 FPS, they want ultra settings.
No, come on. Yeah, of course not, right?
Realistically, it's not gonna happen. But then
Of course not.
Well, I don't get just running fly-by-wire. Well, yeah, fly-by-wire is not sophisticated and as detailed as the Phoenix. But then they'll go 2 minutes later. Well, we've been in the fly-by-wire and it's stuttering like hell. How can we make it any better? Well, what your settings or what your specs, and you look at it and think, that's the whole reason. And then people complain about stuff. Well, the Phoenix isn't optimized. This isn't optimized. Settings not optimized. Well, your different sceneries have different specs and have different things. You're not going to get the same thing every time.
No, I agree.
There's going to be variables.
That's true.
Agree.
There's
But
a lot of factors. There's a lot of factor in the software itself. That's That's the point I was trying to make.
I guess where I'm
It's-
coming from,
With,
though.
for the
So-
developer too, there is a lot of factors.
Yes,
you
I
can't
understand.
compare freeware to payware. There's no way, because FPS and how your system handles it is going to be completely different. So comparing freeware to payware is irrelevant realistically.
Okay,
because
all right.
relevant.
So
Yes.
here's a different comparison then. I guess where I'm really trying. Let's throw some numbers out. So you use the 28 frame FPS, right? Like that is actually quite reasonable for a mid-range system to hit on a complex payware add-on, right? 28 is actually, yes, it's low, but it's acceptable. Like it's flyable. You can get away with that, and it's a reasonably okay experience as far as Flight Simulator goes. The whole idea of 60 FPS. I mean, this is something that comes out of the gaming industry as a general rule. It does not apply to Flight Simulator, right? And if people say, I want 60 frames per second in any circumstance, in any situation, on any add-on Flight Simulator, you know what? Good luck to you. If you got money to burn. And you can build a rig that actually does that, and even the best rigs out there, I think, will still drop into the 40s and possibly 30s in certain situations with certain add-ons, right? But if you can accomplish that, that's great. But I mean, as long as you're getting something over 25, especially if you're on Final Approach and stuff, you're doing okay, right? And stutters
Yes.
are a different thing, right? Stutters are more intrusive. You don't want stutters, but lower FPS is not necessarily a bad thing as long as it's constant and it's not infringing. But where I was kind of getting at though is even if you use the Fenix as an acid test, as a litmus test, right? If the Fenix on a given system is giving that user 28 FPS, right, and that is considered a gold star, or a 5-star add-on with all the detail and all the trimmings, and someone else comes out with an add-on which looks to be about the same as the Fenix, but that add-on gets 15 frames per second, not 28, 15 on the same system, that's a problem, right? And to me, that's a lack of optimization, and the developer needs to have a think about why is my add-on underperforming on the same spec against a pure payware add-on, right? So forget about fly-by-wire. That's fine. You're right. You don't have to compare freeware to payware. But if you take your PMDJ 737 or your Fenix, and you've got a system which is running both of those adequately, and then someone comes out with a new one and it drops like right down to the floor, I think that's a problem. And I think that when people review it, they will notice that, they will mention that, and that will scare off customers.
But the thing again, I get where you're coming from, I really can. But the problem people do, reviewers especially, and this is what winds me up about reviewers. You'll have Phoenix, you've got fly-by-wire. People review fly-by-wire. It's fantastic. It's the bee's knees freeware. Yes. Phoenix, it's the best freeware so-and-so without that. Yes. Fine. Payware, happy as days. Then somebody will come along and go, well, PMD's just done a 737. It's completely written in a different code, which only kudos to PMDG. They've come out and said, look, we're writing in this code, we know how it works, this is what we need it to do, but we're having problems importing it to Microsoft due to Azure or Microsoft security. Fair enough, they've all done up to that, and but yet then they're going, well, but yet in PMDG I can get 40 frames per second, for example. But yet in Phoenix I can only get 25, and in fly-by-wire it's hitting between 28 and 30. It's like, well, they're different developers, different coding, different team members, different set of variables. You can't compare one to another and complain, especially like when people put mods in the community folder and they'll put a mod in and say, oh, my thing's crashed, or my FPS is dropped. It's like, well, what have you done that's caused that to crash or reduce your FPS? Well, I've done this and I've done that. Well, there's your answer. But then they compare freeware to payware, quality to non-quality, developer to developer, and then they're going, well, take Gatwick for example. You've got the ultra freeware, which looks amazing, and then you've got origami. Fair enough, it's not as detailed, but it's better on FPS, but you're losing out on something. And they're comparing the both, and it's like, well, no, they're exactly the same. It's just different developers with different textures, with different optimizations, could have different effects on them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that's all fair comments. Before I forget, I just want to mention Beluga's comment because I'm curious. He says, Navigraph, I use Sim Toolkit Pro. I'm professional. What is Sim Toolkit Pro? Does anybody know?
Nope, it's a tablet. It is. It's like like a tablet kind of thing that you can put on to. So it gives you. It's like Volanta in a sense. So it works with Flight Sim X-Plane 11. You can do your dispatching through SimBrief. You can do flight logs. Databases like Meta. You can do landing reports, data storage. FatSim, taxiing, scheduling flights, searchable routes.
So it's pretty, I've never heard of it, so that sounds pretty fully fledged. Do you use it yourself, Dart?
I used the, I've used it once, but to be honest, I've got other apps that do the exact same thing, and I know how to use it, I just don't want to be able to, you know. Last time I used it, I believe it was you had to have a trial. It were a trial. It were a subscription. So
okay.
Why would I pay a sub when I'm already paying a sub for it and getting stuff for free?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, Beluga says he was joking, but it does track your flights, a lot of other things, just as you were saying. Mainly uses it for your taxi charts. Okay, right, that's fair. And Stu's on the ground already. He's had a butter landing in his F-14. Awesome. Well, good job, mate.
Since we're talking about this kind of tool, if what you need is just the charts, a good alternative to Navigraph is called ChartFox. So all you need to use ChartFox is a FatSim account, but aside of that, it's free. And it gives you access to any chart of any airport you want. Maybe there can be a few places in which it may be a little harder to get them still, like Canada,
right?
For instance. Canada is always a treat for this kind of stuff.
Because Canada likes to charge for everything, that's why.
They don't give away.
So you're going to have a hard time finding free anything if the person distributing it has to pay. I'm thinking Canada's one of those. Excuse me. Yeah. One of those countries that does that.
ChartFox is good if you want older charts that are not necessarily up to date. So, for example, if you fly through Copenhagen, for example, they're no use to you because the charts don't match up with new SIDs and stars.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great for general charts.
Yeah.
Older charts, but the newer ones, it's not really good. But if you're wanting up to date charts, for especially like they are for FatSim, but you can use them for normal flights. If you go to the virtual ATC sectors for like Austria, UK, you can get the charts up to date for free. 9 times out of 10 there, you might have the odd one or two missing. It's only a select few FatSim ATC sectors that don't have the charts. So it's always worth checking in there, that's free as well.
It really depends on where you fly. Like I've tried using it in the US and I had the latest charts there, I think, with ChartFox. And yeah, I think it really depends on where you fly because they do with what they can. It's a pretty database when you think about it, considering it's just something that they're doing for free.
Yeah.
The main difference, if you do have the charts you need on ChartFox, the biggest difference is gonna be with Navigraph is that Navigraph gives you the Jeppesen charts, which are actually used in real life by pilots.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I'm attracted to Navigraph for that reason, actually. And I find I also find the Jeppesen charts. I guess. Are they easy to read? I'm just used to them, I suppose is where I'm coming, what I think about it. So, and I don't like change because I'm old. So, I'm used to the Jeppesen style. I mean, silly things come up in my sim life, as it were, my virtual pilot life, and one of the things, Nick, you'll probably laugh at this, but you know how Gav, when he first started out and we're watching the flights, and we're all kind of learning along with him, right? With HD. But one of the changes he did is with the sim brief, he changed the output to the EasyJet arrangement for
Yes.
the UFP, right? And up until then, I think I've been using the standard one, whatever it was Lido or
Lido, yeah.
Lido, yeah. And but it didn't work because obviously he's talking through it. But so I switched it over to easy format, and it made a lot more sense. Like, it was suddenly a lot clearer. I could grasp what was coming out of it a lot better. And of course, because he's going through them and talking through them, you know, I was able to train against that. But see, now if someone said, well, you know, try the Air Canada one and try the other, I'm like, no, I'll stick with easy. That's good. You know, like, I don't want to change because I'm used to it.
I kind of learned how to read a flight plan using the easy format with HD and Gavin going through it. But now I don't use it at all. I just use the Lido.
Yeah, fair enough. Stu's saying just a big thanks for letting me fly with you. Sorry, Stu. Awesome. No, great. I'm glad you came along with us, mate. Absolute pleasure. And Beluga's saying, yeah, Lido is the default one on Super. Sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I use Lido now all the time. 'Cause it's the one that my virtual airline uses.
Yeah.
Puts it in that format. So, but I've had that leapfrog from learning the easy part. I can now go, okay, this bit's here, this bit's here.
Yeah.
Plus, on SimBrief, there's an actual tutorial that will actually go through the whole flight plan and say what each bit is for the Lido one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the easy format is, well, for me, it became easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. No pun
Yeah.
intended. And because that's the one that all of us learned together on with Gav and
Yeah.
HD.
We were flying every single day. Every single day.
Well, I mean, and even
format.
I wasn't flying every single day, but I was in a sense because I was watching you guys and watching Gavin. You know, so I probably, my observation time compared to my actual flight hours in the sim is skewed like way higher. I've probably got, I think I'm about 200 hours on the sim, whereas I'm probably about 1,000 hours, or if not more, watching guys like Gav, you know, fly, and some other content creators as well, but primarily Gavin for the airline side of it. And big shout to Philbert, by the way. I used to really enjoy watching Philbert as well. He's excellent. These clouds are amazing, by the way.
Yeah, they look really nice.
That's awesome
nice.
formations.
White.
Yeah, it's all white. It's all snow.
Well, that's the thing. They're not all white. That's what looks really nice.
Okay, we're starting our final descent into Montreal here. So I'm just taking a quick peek to see where everything is.
I do think the clouds should be brighter. That's my one criticism.
I've got a reshape for that, Nick.
You want MSFS to be brighter?
The clouds. Willie will agree. Willie does a lot of flying in real life, and I noticed it. As I said when I was last year, the clouds are brighter when you're above the clouds.
They are. Yeah,
you
they
look
are.
down, they really shine back at you.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. You know what? Where that may change is if ray tracing comes in.
Right.
That may just happen organically because of the improved light rendering. The problem with ray tracing, though, however, is your system is going to have to be pretty well spec'd.
Ray tracing, it's...
I know they put RTX on the box,
but doing that in real time, it takes a lot of power.
Well, I mean, there's so much going on already with Flight Simulator in terms of calculations, stuff like that. Can you imagine throwing ray tracing into the mix as well?
Yeah.
But that would, I think, in due course, though, I think, you know, Flight Simulator is going to be around for a long time. They're not going to come out with a new version. They're just going to keep building on this one, I presume.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say it's not gonna happen, but it's so heavy already.
It is. Yeah.
I don't see where you could fit.
Well, it's just because technology. just because technology improves, right? So it's and ray tracing will get more efficient as the graphics cards get more mature and things like that. So I think you could see it. Beluga's saying when we were descending into Gran Canaria, we went into a turbulent cloud, and everyone was holding their chairs and making gulping noises because they were scared. I was having the time of my life. Yeah, it sounds like me, Beluga. Flying in Britain, it's constantly bad weather all the time, especially when you're landing into airports like Gatwick and London City, and usually we're shaking all the way down. And I'm the kind of guy that's having a conversation with the flight attendant, completely ignoring the situation, while the guy next to me is ready to crap himself, right? So it's, I think some people don't mind turbulence. Some people get really, really terrified with it. For me, I think if there's no turbulence, like this is a weird thing. If it's too smooth, I can't sleep if I'm on a long haul. If there's a little bit of turbulence, a little bit of rocking, I tend to sleep better. So explain that one to me. Sorry, Nick, I think were you going to say something?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's where FS Realistic comes in. Screaming passengers.
Yeah, I don't have to. Is that worth it? I might try that actually. Is it two questions then? Is FS Realistic worth the price, and does it cause any performance issues or impact?
Depends what you mean as performance issues, because it sounds daft,
it's
but
mild.
it's really mild, to be honest. But
Okay.
you get all the sounds of like people going to the toilet,
Well, really?
wind sounds against the cockpit windows. You get the
I would like that
cockpit
actually.
sneezing.
I would like that. I love audio.
You know what, Willie? You can have a
go
free
ahead.
trial of FS Realistic.
Yes, I think you mentioned that before.
Yes, because I
try
did the
this
free
weekend.
trial. I found it pretty fun. In the end, I didn't purchase it, but I did enjoy using it.
Yeah, I might get it.
Best ones when you do a crappy landing and you get boo.
Yeah, there's that.
Or you do a really butter landing and you get yay. Clap.
Beluga says FS Realistic is worth it 100%. Doesn't cause performance issues for me. And my favorite thing is the rumble when rolling down the runway. Yeah, I'm a huge audio guy, so anything that improves on sound for me makes things more immersive right in there. Obviously I love visuals, but the audio is something that can really let me down. And when when that Twin Otter first got released, how there's really quite serious problems with the engine noise and stuff. It just ruined it for me. I couldn't, even though everything else was okay. The audio it was like someone was drilling into my head. I'm a huge fan of good quality audio, and anything that improves on that's great. So yeah, I'll definitely check it out, guys. Thanks for all the advice. Anyways, who's on final? Dark, are you on final?
Yes, I am on final.
I think Nick's ahead of me.
Well, how did I do? I just noticed that. I'm ahead of you. How did I do that?
I miscalculated my top of descent, so I was sitting at 250 knots a lot longer at 10,000 feet than I intended to.
Oh, fantastic! Here comes the snow.
Oh yeah.
Had a bit of rain just now.
I can't wait.
I love how it's dark outside, and the glare off the screens is like awful now. I just love that. So now I got to turn all my screens down because they're just getting too bright in the darkness. Yeah, this is gonna be fun, guys. It's only I think it was 3 miles visibility, wasn't it?
I've just put in the Rex textures as well from Orbx, so it'll be nice to see what these new textures look like.
Yeah, I agree.
What have you just done? Textures.
That Rex textures on Orbx, yeah. I put from old and dirty on. So.
Oh, yeah.
What was the?
I can't see the
Still
runway.
on approach says Nighthawk.
Oh no.
I don't know about B-Soup Nighthawk, but yeah, it's not fun.
198. 198. 198. Thank God for Cat 3, yeah.
This is not even Cat 3 because I can't see. I'm at 600 feet and I can't see runway.
Oh, really? Looks like sounds like pure auto land then. Alright, guys. Get ready, cabin.
Well, I've just seen runway lights at minimums.
Man, this weather keeps changing. 2968 on the still 1005, yeah, it's still. Probably not a huge, massive thing, but didn't really change anything for me. Yeah, it's pea soup, guys. Pea soup. See Nick up ahead of me. You getting close to base, Nick?
Yeah, I'm over Meg 2 now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good spacing between us then.
Good.
Okay, and I just passed the glide scope as well, so...
Yeah, turn into that Exalter.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'll probably do it straight from Meg 2. I don't think I have to hold out any longer than that.
Speed 210.
Actually, I'll just get rid of that manual. Just join it up. Straight into Exalta from there.
See you later, Stu.
Oh, it's so full. The sun is is shining on your plane and it's blinding me.
I'm on base now. Nick, where are you? Have you turned final yet?
Yeah, 4 miles to Exalta.
Okay.
You're 9 miles, aren't you? Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I'm closing on you pretty quick. Just trying to think what should let you go first.
You're 180, so yeah, that's fine. I'm doing 210 at the moment.
Okay.
So that would be perfect.
Really close to you though. Might be alright, we'll see. I'll drop, what I'll do is actually, I'll drop it to 160, give you a bit more spacing then once you get past Exalta.
Yeah, well, I'm overhead that now, so I'm going to go to 180, and I'll keep it at 180 till 4.
Yeah, because we're only 3 miles separated. And
Yep, and then I will vacate. We're coming in here. I'll try and get off at Bravo 1, perhaps.
Traffic.
Bravo 1. Yeah, okay, I'll go for Bravo 3 then.
It's a high-speed taxiway, isn't it? Yeah, why is my autopilot?
Yeah, you get a lot of choice. I'll slow down 160 here.
I think I'm the only one that's gone for the 06 right.
Yeah, probably. That might have been another option.
Oh, Nick's climbing.
Yeah, something's gone horribly wrong.
Okay, are you going around?
Possibly. If not, I can't correct it.
Okay, I'm on the localizer. 10 miles. 12 miles. Yeah, you're definitely drifting off pathway.
I'll do a circuit.
Okay. I'll just continue my descent then. And I'll, although, ooh, that means I get to get drone footage of Nick landing today. Beluga says, oh, I'm right behind you. Okay. Actually, I could probably take it up to 180 again. I was just worried about hitting Nick, so. Dump everything out about 8 miles, or maybe 6 miles. A bit more distance between you. Stu says sound off flush would be funny, yeah. Oh, from FS Realistics, yeah, I agree. Nighthawk says dark pea soup on approach. Yes, sir. It certainly is. It's 8 miles.
2,500.
I think we'll drop the gear.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Let's go to... Be rough. Down to flaps 3. Arm the speed brake, and we think we'll go for auto brake low. And 5 miles, flaps 4. Oh, freeze. Uh-oh. Well, that gave me a scare.
Traffic, traffic.
Still someone ahead
And
of me.
it is snowing.
Who's ahead of me? Is that... Oh, is it you, Shark Kitty? Are you down?
No, I'm approaching.
Okay, you're in my road. Go faster. Yep, here comes the snow.
Hey, Brett.
Nighthawk saying runway threshold visible 400, Nick.
1,000.
Okay.
That's promising. Oh yeah, here we go. I've yet to do an aisle land in flight sim. I've never done it. Never needed to. Look, man, yeah, it's snowing hard. Christ, you think this was Canada or something, eh? Yeah, see lights.
500. 400.
That's pretty low vis.
300. 300.
Okay, disconnect.
200.
Established 12.
200. 100 above. 100. Minimum 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard 5.
And we're down.
That's some crappy weather.
This is the worst I've seen. Almost there. Alright. Okie dokie. Ooh, wow, I was generally pretty happy with that though. Let me turn that off. Strobes off. And get the APU going there. Wipers might be good, eh? Oh, that doesn't do anything. That's just annoying. Oh well. There's a system on these that they don't actually need wipers. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like ultrasonic or something. Come on, why are you not moving? Oh, there we go. Oh, Brett Pound's coming. He says, hello, hello, how you doing, Brett? Yeah, it is. It's sketchy. Very sketchy, Brett. Very, very sketchy weather. Actually, you know what? Let's see if we can just quickly chase Nick. Look at that. What a mess. Okay, Nick, you're front and center.
Right.
A rain repellent. I don't know. I think it's like an ultrasonic system of some sort, Beluga. I'll have to read up on it. But they don't actually need working wipers to fly the 320. But it's a nice to have, especially when you're when you're taxiing out.
No, they don't need working wipers to actually fly, but they do need rain repellent and intact.
Yeah. Beluga says, I won't ask Nick just now, Beluga. He's probably focusing on his landing, so we'll wait for that to get done.
Yes, I am in the Beluga, yeah. Sorry, I am in the Phoenix. I'm in the Beluga. 500, no runway.
It does come in. It does come eventually.
400.
I think it's about 300. 300 is when I
No.
felt comfortable disconnecting.
No.
Nothing?
No.
Oh wow.
Oh. Ah. Yeah, there we go.
As HD says, Nick, you only need to see one light.
Yep. I've got it.
Oh, I can hear those engine reversers coming on. Okay, I know I'm holding... Oh, I was holding up someone there. up the flaps while we're here. I guess you think they plow the taxiways for us. Oh, there's Shark Kitty hovering. Alright, where am I going here again? Oh yeah, it's right to the end, isn't it? Okay. I think I said the west side of the airport. There's like a little alcove there.
Beluga's got to go, so thank you, Beluga.
Thanks, Beluga. Oh, it's so great to have you on,
See
mate.
you around, Beluga.
Yeah, what a great flight. Thanks, Beluga. All the best to you, mate. Icky. Welcome to Montreal, guys. It's a very, very scenic place. Just not necessarily this time of year, but it's scenic. Oh wow, what a mess!
It's sad to see that there's no scenery.
Dark, you didn't go to the. You're on the north side of the terminal, are you?
I'm on stand 59.
Okay, I'll pull up beside you then.
It's the only place where
It's nice.
GSX will let me park.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. I'll plunk myself in between the two U's then. Got a very distinctive control tower, doesn't it? I can't remember if Montreal was handcrafted on the Canada update.
No.
It wasn't.
No.
Looks default.
It's default.
It's default.
It is default, okay.
The jetways are not attached, so they're just floating in the middle.
Alright, okay.
There is some scenery on FlightSim.to, but it doesn't actually do any benefit to it.
Shark Kitty's gonna pinch my parking spots. Oh, come on. Oh, that's where I'm most can see the other. Can't see anything. Oh, right there's a line of some sort. Oh, dude. Hang on, dude. Got EP power, yep. Let's bring it off. Oop. Get that jet bridge work. I'm just curious. I'm always curious to see if jet bridges will work. Yep, that's going away. That's cool. Okay, cool. Oh, lights. That was a good flight. It was a bit bad weather at the end, but just a new challenge, I thought. You guys still with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nighthawk says no major airport has been handcrafted in Canada. Well, wait, what the hell was the point of putting out the update then? I think they give us one. But he says, Calumet is probably the nicest handcrafted airport for Canada. Really? That's interesting. Yeah, that'd be a place I'd like to fly. I think we'll probably save that one for a summer flight, though. Just because the weather can be quite horrendous. There we go. Yeah, this is Montreal. So, obviously, it's not a handcrafted airport, just default, but it'll give you a rough idea of what it looks like. And a huge thanks to Nighthawk and Beluga for joining us today. That was a great fun, guys. Thanks for coming along. As I pan out on a very, very, very snowy, a very snowy Montreal. Very cool. Anyway, Nick, great to have you along tonight, mate. I'm glad you made it. Did you enjoy the flight?
It's been good. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Interesting weather.
It has been, yeah, very much so. And Dark, awesome that you came back today. I'm glad. I guess nothing came of the smoking GPU.
Yes, it actually killed. It actually destroyed my screens on the way out.
All right. Oh man, yeah. I just realized my music hadn't been playing there. No, but and again, great to get you back, Dark. I know you were a huge miss for. I think was it 2-3 weeks you've been off.
Yeah. It's just overloaded with livery work and stuff like that. I needed to take a break and take a fresh.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I'm glad we got you back fresh, and yeah, it's been really entertaining. And Shark Kitty, the flight extraordinaire, chasing me in the jet again today. Thanks for coming along tonight, and great conversation, guys, as well. Especially yourself, Shark Kitty.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
But yeah, I felt like we covered a lot of. That's the one thing I really do enjoy about the airliner flights is we seem to have very long, involved conversations because we're able to just kind of chill out and just talk about our number one subject, which was really fun. So yeah, big thanks to everybody tonight. So I'll also say big thanks to Brett, who's on the chat there, Beluga, Nighthawk, who flew with us today, as well as Beluga, and Stu. Stu was flying with us too. Can't forget Stu. Unfortunately, had to crash the desktop, but he joined us in the F-15 at the end. And J-Hog was back there at one point as well. Big thank you to him. And anyone else I'm missing? I don't think so. So yeah, huge shout out to all of you, and of course our new subscribers today, Nighthawk and Boomer Richard. So big thanks for Boomer for joining the flight or the Positive Rate family. Don't forget to join our Discord as well. Hopefully one of my colleagues can put the Discord link in the chat for us. And we'll see you next week. Now, we may be going Thursday, we may be going Saturday. I'm not quite sure yet, but it will be decided by the weekend because I will be meeting with my new producer. And the new producer is simply the old promotion and marketing manager, which is Nick, of course. Nick is going to be elevating to producer level, which means he's going to have a more direct role in setting up a lot of the streams and getting content ready and things like that. And probably you'll probably see things from Nick like polls and vote for your favorite aircraft or your favorite route and things like that. So yeah, we're gonna have a chat in the weekend. And Nick, assuming Nick, you're still gonna take the job.
Yeah, there's a list. This list is getting longer, isn't it?
It's I can't wait to see. I think you're going to be bring a lot of ideas once you have the tools available to you, and I think it's going to be fantastic. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to working with you on that. And
should be fun.
Makes life again easier for me because there's so much going into presenting anyway and getting everything ready and whatnot. So it's just that that little bit of assistance from me, and of course it'll be, you won't have to shout at me as much for not getting all the streams posted on YouTube. So anyway, and I think even if going that way, we may actually also venture back onto Twitch at some point in the future, but we'll have to have a kind of a chat about that and see where things are going. But yeah, looking forward to that. Big thank you to everyone here. I wish you all a great night. Good night, Dark Fury.
Good night.
Good night, Nick.
Good night.
Good night, Shark Kitty.
Good night.
And that's a good night from me, and we'll see you next week right here on Positive Freight. Have a great time, folks.